welcome again to my show, Searching for Integrity. My name really is John Smith, and I'm searching for people with integrity. Why? Because our country suffers from IDD, Integrity Deficit Disorder. Today, we have as our guest June Edward and her book, The 5 Love Lessons, Understanding the Why Behind the Relationship. You know, I think I've had that question before. Why am I doing this? Maybe that's part of the answer. You'll help us today, or at least help me. Go ahead.
I think everybody's had that question. Why am I here? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Relationships aren't easy. That's the reality of life, but they all serve a purpose and they are to teach us something. So the question is, what is it you need to learn? And it's not about you specifically in this body. It's about your soul, because that's who we truly are, is the soul that's inside this body. It's about soul growth.
And I have been working on that myself.
Good. Everyone should.
We'll just see how it comes around. One of the things that I do with every interview, especially with a book, is I go through and work from the table of contents, because that's where the meat is.
It gets you places faster.
That's right, and that's what I want to contest on today. And yes, the contents. One thing here that others might not. You know, everybody can't be, especially a Christian. They don't believe in reincarnation. That's kind of
Really?
It comes up in my family. Other people, that type of thing.
I guess maybe some do, some don't.
You're right.
Well,
Exactly.
I look at religions this way. They're all right. They're all wrong. There's more than 176 recognized religions just in the United States. For anybody to think theirs is the one that's right and everybody else is wrong, who's to say, right?
Yeah. Pretty
There's
good.
a lot more in the rest of the world.
That's right. Now,
I only can tell you what I know. I can't tell you what's,
that's
that's
good.
all I can tell you.
That's why you're here. You're going to tell us all you know. Now, what are love lessons? I know you've got some. Go ahead.
They're what your soul needs to learn in order for your soul to advance.
I see. Self-worth, money balance, trust and communication, unconditional love, and patience.
Correct.
You know, I sometimes ask myself, and looking up at the sky, and hey, God, why didn't I get patience?
Be careful what you ask for. I'm constantly asking. So when you pray, you're asking. When you meditate, you get your answers. Be careful what you ask for. I've asked many times for patience, and they made darn sure I learned it the hard way, because there's certain things I'm still waiting on. It's been years.
Of course. I thought that a lot of people don't really know what karma is. Maybe you could probably help people out with that.
Sure. So karma is something that is created between two souls while they're here on earth. Let's say, for instance, I worked for you and I stole money from you and went my way and said, see ya. In my next lifetime, I would come back and I would owe you, because I stole from you and I did not make amends in this lifetime. So in my next lifetime, maybe I'll come back and have to pay you money. Maybe I'll have to teach you one of your lessons. Whatever it is we decide to write into our plan, but somehow along the road, I'm going to owe you because I did not make amends in this lifetime.
Right. I have someone that's a friend, and maybe if I'm good enough, I'll turn him into a guru. Hopefully, he's a smart guy, and he helped me a lot.
Good.
He's gone now. He's gone. He's passed on.
Well, he can help you from the other side. Do you meditate?
I do. Not as much as I used to.
Okay,
But I used to.
I recommend everyone should meditate 3 times a day for 20 minutes each time.
Wow.
And when you do that, you'll be able to connect your soul to the other side, and you can talk to him, and you'll see him, and you'll hear him. Everyone has the ability. It's a matter of developing it.
Getting it right. I was looking at the relationship types, and I've also heard people talking about certain things like soulmates and twin flames, those kind of things that people might be interested in.
So
These are
twin
karmic
flames,
relationships.
yeah, twin flames are very, very rare. There's a lot of misinformation going around ever since, The Notebook and these different movies came out, but they are extremely, extremely rare. And they're not these love story relationships that everybody wants to make them out to be. They're the most difficult, challenging thing you'll ever go through in your life. They teach you the greatest lessons in the world, and twin flames are here for a bigger purpose than your average person. They're really here to make a difference in the world. So it's very rare. I've had a few of them come through my relationship mastery program because I attract them, because energetically we're all attracting or repelling. But most people are not going to ever experience that in this lifetime. So that leaves soulmates, which we have lots of soulmate relationships. They don't have to be romantic. Your son could be a soulmate. Your dog could be a soulmate, but they feel really, really good. They're very comfortable relationships. They're meant to help teach you something while they afford you comfort and love at the same time. And then a karmic relationship is just that. It's someone that comes into your life to teach you the toughest lesson for you to learn. And it never feels comfortable. It always feels like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, and you're always looking over your shoulder. You're never really sure. And once one or the other or both learn the lesson that they're here for, that relationship ends immediately. It's like waking up one morning and saying, why am I even here? And if you've both learned the lesson, it will end amicably. But if only one of you has learned the lesson, it will end, but it will not be amicable.
Yes, I've thought about that.
I think everyone's already had a few of those too.
Just an important point. I have twins, and so does Mac. Mac has twins.
Wow.
Yeah.
And see, energetically, you probably were drawn to each other because kind likes attract. Law of attraction.
Good. I like that. Question. So why are we here?
Well, for the most part, we're here for 2 big reasons. One, believe it or not, is a vacation, because when you've been on the other side for a long time as a soul, you can travel, you can see things, you can go places, you can listen in on the population, but you can't interact really, and you can't enjoy a lot of the things that you can when you have a body. You can't eat food and taste it. You can't touch things or smell flowers. You can't have sex. So we come down here for a short period of time to relive a lot of these experiences and have some fun and enjoy things. And then we also come down here to help each other, to either teach a lesson or learn a lesson so that our souls can continue to advance.
I should introduce you to my book later on when the show's over. Because I have that. I have that. My friend and attorney that passed, he helps me quite a bit.
You should. Yeah. If you ask them from the other side, they will help you.
I look here also, people think there's some sort of a cord between your brain and your soul. It's not true. It's not your
your brain is a computer.
Either.
No, your brain is a computer. That's it. And your brain has a very specific job. Its job is to protect you. How does it do that? It does it by creating fear. So people live their lives making their decisions from fear. And when you make your decision from your head, it's literally a crapshoot. You never know if it's right. Half the time it's wrong. You're always questioning yourself. But when you get in touch with your soul and you make your decisions from your soul, that's a knowing. You know you're making the right decision. You don't question it. You just do it, and it works out fine 100% of the time.
Well, I've many times thought that there were people talking about me when they were in different cities, places like that. And that told me that from that I have enough intuition to go ahead and look at the other side through my own soul.
Absolutely. Your soul leaves your body. Your soul can go to the other side. Most of your soul is in the other side because it's way too big for this body. You've got some of it stuffed inside. Everybody talks about seeing an aura. That's part of your soul that's over your body. And the majority of your soul is in the lowest level of heaven, which is the 5th dimension. And that orchestrates the timing of everything that happens in your life.
You know, everything supposed to be happen according to the plan. The happens according to the plan.
Oh, for the most part, I can tell you that some people do die outside of their life plan. Suicide was one of those ways that is never written into your life plan. It's never acceptable, so that's always a no-no. And other people can still die outside of their life plan. I've brought through, a car full of teenagers once that the girls that were in the car were cousins, and they died outside of their life plan because they did not follow their soul, and they knew they were not supposed to be where they were, and they were. And it happens.
Interesting.
But yeah. Other than that, everything that happens in your life, although you have choice, your choice is always going to bring you back to in front of the same path again. If it's not the right choice, if you're not listening to your soul, it's just going to take longer to get you where you're supposed to be.
Yep. It's kind of like spinning in around and around and around. And then when you stop, you say, well, wait, I've already been here.
Yeah. Driving around the block a few times. Yeah. Yeah.
Everything happens according to the plan.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Is that that's a mandate?
Well, you made the plan. We each made our own life plan. This is how we wanted it. Just like when I died at 27, that was an exit that I wrote into my life plan that I could have taken if I wanted to. Everybody that has, a lot of people die and don't get that option to come back. I got I wrote that into my life plan. I could have taken the exit and stayed there.
Outstanding. Now, everything happens according to the plan, true or false?
For the most part, there are variations of the plan. So for instance, you decided you're going to be a slow learner this time around, and you were presented with the choices of door 1, 2, and 3. You took door 1, you went through, you got married, you had a couple of kids, you got divorced. Where's it bring you? Back in front of door 1, 2, and 3 again. You didn't learn the lesson the first time. What do? You take door 1 again. What happened? You get married, you have a couple more kids, you get divorced. You're back in front of door 1, 2, and 3 again. I learned my lesson. Okay, what was your lesson? Well, maybe it was self-worth. Maybe, maybe my husband was beating me all the time, and I know that I deserve better than that, and I won't do that again. I won't, I will stand up for myself and take care of myself, those types of things. So I'm not going to take door 1 this time. I'm going to take door 2. And you take door 2 and you get married and you have a couple of kids again. And guess what? You don't get divorced this time. It changes things because you learned that lesson and you chose a different person and you had the life that you wanted. And that's the difference. So you chose the plan.
Yeah,
there's little variations because they want you to think you have, they want you to feel like you have choice. The reality is we don't have a lot of choice.
True. Sometimes I'll after something event or something occurred, I turn and twist and pat myself on the back, and
Good for you.
is accomplishment to do that. And generally, when I do that, it seems to be more of that, I guess I should say.
Positivity brings more positivity. We're all energetic beings, and this is how energy works. We're like magnets. So the more appreciative you are, the higher your vibration, the more you attract.
Mm-hmm. Is there a way that we can tell all the lessons we're supposed to have in this lifetime?
Learn them all?
Mm-hmm.
There is, but it's not an easy process. And I created the relationship mastery program because everyone was coming to be about relationships. So it was divinely created. It truly was. And by putting hundreds of people through the program, I learned that it only works if it's done in the order that it was laid out in. And literally that order was laid out by me working with the angels. It really was. So if they do it in that order and they do it in a timely manner, their energy shifts enough that they have a high vibration and they're able to balance that energy. So now they've learned, they learn all of the lessons in there. And one of the toughest lessons is balance, believe it or not. It's money and balance. Money is the vehicle that we use here to understand and learn balance, but balancing your energy is very, very difficult to do. And I'm able to teach people how to do that. And when you balance your energy, I think the rest of the lessons start coming to you much easier. Because the law of attraction actually stays. Most people that teach the law of attraction don't know how to teach it to stay. It'll last for a little while and people lose it because their energy isn't balanced. Once you've learned how to balance that energy, you maintain that magnetic field.
The last,
and then you learn lessons.
And then you don't. As I was thinking, probably a couple of months ago, and I've found myself telling myself, we had a number of pets over the years, dogs and a cat. And we got to that point to where in the morning, I've got this tugging on my pants, or my scratching on my knee, that type of thing. And I've ruled now, I've just already gotten to it, that it really is the dogs that I used to have.
Yeah. It's funny. I sold a house probably about 15 years ago that one of my dogs passed away in, and she was 16 when she passed. She was a rescue. And my kids used to still see her going up and down the staircase. And the people that bought the house contacted me because they continually see the dog going up and down the staircase.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they demand their money back?
No, they didn't. Thank God they were good about it. They have 2 dogs of their own, but they couldn't figure out what was going on with their dogs. They kept flipping out. And then they spotted the dog going up the staircase.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. For all my audience and all the people listening in, that is amazing. So look for your pets if they're not with you anymore.
Yeah.
You'll
when you go to the other
appreciate
side, when I bring someone through from the other side, if they have pets, they're always with them. And I'll ask the reader, I'm like, Jesus, did they have an Irish setter or something? She goes, oh my God, he hasn't had that since he was a kid. I'm like, well, the Irish setter's with him. I see the animals come right through.
Oh boy. That's something.
Yeah.
It's just a matter, I guess, to an extent of believing in the way and believing in yourself. And then once you get that, I'm looking at it, I'm latching onto it, then I'm getting a little closer more, a little more closer. So
So I
I keep
think what
reading.
makes people believe more is once you start meditating and getting in touch with your soul and understanding how angels works, how things in your life start to change. There's some stories, I'm sure they're in my books, that, stuff has happened to me that's just insane. There's no way you can explain it otherwise than it's absolutely the universe bringing you what it is you asked for. You have to pay attention.
You got to pay attention. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a treat for me and others that are listening. And if you would you tell everybody where they find their book, your book?
Sure. You can find my book everywhere, but the easiest way to get it, I guess, would be to go to my website, which is 𝐿𝐭𝐻𝐻𝐿.com, no S, 𝐿𝐭𝐻𝐻𝐿.com. And on the front of the website, there is a link to all of my books. Just click on it. You can buy the book from there. And there's also a webinar, free webinar that people can sign up for and watch as well on relationships.
And the name of the book again is 5 Love Lessons. Now there's the others. I got those copied down too. A Night on the Other Side, Insights and Conversations from Heaven. I wanted to pick that up right away. Then I've got 2018, Dancing with the Universe, The Making of a Medium. But you're lucky to have those 3 books and have them standing up for you.
Thank you.
And I need to ask my audience, they had a good time? Yes. Will you come back again? We don't know. Maybe we'll work on that. Maybe it'll be the day when I tell myself, you've done it. You've done it. It's a process. I know that. Nevertheless. Thank you, listeners, for searching for integrity. That's always a key thing, key matter for me. And tuning in. And I have to say goodbye. I'm glad you came, gave us some time. So long and happy trails to all. Until we see you again.